I wanted to bring you on because I knew you would have like some insightful information about this whole Kwame Brown thing, right? Because
Okay.
I've been sitting back watching, and I appreciate the brother's commentary, right? Um, some of the things he says, if you listen to conscious black people, or if you listen to black people who are critical thinkers, a lot of people have been saying some of these things for a long time, right?
Yeah.
But based on based on who he is, I think based on the fact that he's been like the bud of a lot of these jokes for a lot of years,
Yeah.
based on the fact that we never heard the brother talk, like all of this shit they've been saying about him for years, we ain't really heard him say much. So it's been intriguing to people, you know what I mean? But I want to talk to you about, like, initially hearing him discuss the things he's been through and how he viewed these people, Stephen A. Smith, Stephen Jackson, Matt Barnes. Initially, how did you feel about his approach?
His approach, it was fine with me. Because I mean, something that's important to remember with him is all he did was respond to people. So every name he's mentioned is in response to. So there's nobody's name he's picked out where he mentioned them first. So to address Stephen A. Smith, Matt Barnes, Stephen Jackson, and that now the list has gone to like Charlemagne the God and Dr. Boyce Watkins, and the list is getting pretty long. These are all people who spoke on him first. So I got no problem with the way he's going about it. Because I mean, this man was by himself for 2 years. Yeah, minding his own business.
So how about this? So minding his own business. Now, so let's say though, because I'm gonna hit you with some shit here. So let's just say his method is to bring awareness to how these people are frauds or how these people are attacking black folks. Like, his method is to bring awareness to all of this. Do you think calling them bitches and verbally being disrespectful, do you think that's the correct way to go about, like, if he's attempting to have a conversation, do you think that's the correct way to go about it?
Depends. So I think I would have to take them case by case. So if you take Stephen A. Smith, who spent a decade during this man's career telling him he was nothing, a bona fide scrub, worthless, all this sort of stuff, he's well within his rights if he got choice words for Stephen A. Smith. For Stephen Jackson, who he knew personally, if they had issue and Stephen Jackson, instead of addressing him, using his name on his podcast, I think he's fine to talk about him. You know, Matt Barnes had choice words for him. You know, so his response is in kind. But I think that, you know, even Charlemagne, who was speaking on his family. So I mean, if the thing is like, does your message get lost with profanity and all this stuff? It can, but when he speaks on the community stuff, he's just talking. When he's addressing these people who have done something specifically to him, is when he's got these words. So if you can listen to it and hear what he's saying, because 85% of what he's been saying these last few weeks has got nothing to do with the trash talking. You know, 85% of what he's saying is talking about the community building. Like I watched the interview where he had Devin George come on. We talk about all the work Devin George has been doing since he's been retired. Like, he's speaking to people who are really doing work and building stuff up. It's just that the trash talk is what gets the headlines. So if that's all you're listening for, then you won't catch the message. But if you actually hear what he's saying, I mean, I'm not fazed by calling somebody something, especially if it's deserved. You know?
Makes sense. Now, how do you feel about, like, because I understand, like, when you speak truth to power and you say it the way he's been saying it, people in our community are going to be drawn to that. like people are going to be drawn to that approach.
Okay.
However, do you think sometimes it's a little much as far as the bandwagon shit? Like when I watch some of his videos and I'm looking at the people comment, I'm looking at other people make YouTube videos about it. I think it would be healthy if we critically looked at everything. So of course, a lot of things he's saying is true, right? But it seems like when a brother like that hits the scene, nobody isn't necessarily critically saying, well, maybe he has a point here, but not a point there. It seems like everybody is like, yeah, get him, because this is my take on it. Okay. I think and you can tell me what you think about this. I think if he would have initially did like his first videos and he was calm and he wasn't calling nobody no names and he wasn't speaking on people the way he was, okay, I don't think the YouTube public would have jumped on it the way they did. How do you feel about that?